Hey, boys and girls. Monday morning, uh, 11th day of summer learning, August the 3rd, and today we are starting fiction. So, lesson 11, summarizing literary texts. Summarizing helps you identify the most important events, details, and themes in a story or play. So, let's talk about the theme, all right? The theme is going to be the big idea. What's the big important thing we're talking about in this story? Okay, so I give you two really small stories today just to do some charts with. Shouldn't be too awfully hard. I think nonfiction is a little bit tougher than fiction, in my opinion. Now, remember, boys and girls, fiction is not real. However, it can have real events going on in it. It doesn't necessarily all have to be fake. There are real things going on, such as think about the movie Jaws. Jaws is not real. There was never a 25-foot great white shark eating people off the New England coast and taking boats down and doing all those things. However, there are sharks in the ocean and they do sometimes eat people and they sometimes too bite into boats. But that movie was complete fiction. Now, National Geographic would be nonfiction. They take real events going on with sharks and they show you what sharks really do, which is they definitely don't eat people all the time and they don't crash and eat boats either all the time. So the first story you're going to read today, I'm going to read to you, is A Jacket in the Boot. My friend James moved here from England a year ago. One rainy day, his mother dropped him off at my house. He trudged in the door and took off his boots. Later, when we decided to go to the park, James couldn't find his rain jacket. Then he said, "Uh-oh, I think I left it in the boot." I looked at him, puzzled. Then I shrugged and picked up one of his boots to see if his jacket was stuffed inside it. James burst out laughing. "Put that down, Dan," he said. "In England, we call the trunk of a car a boot. That's where I left my jacket." This is how I learned that two people can speak the same language and still not understand each other. But mistakes are an important part of learning. Now I know that some words are used differently in England, and James is teaching me even more. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to come down and I want you to draw this out right here. It talks about the characters. There's two characters. What's the setting of the story? Where does the story take place? Okay? And who is telling the story? Who's the narrator of the story? Write down three important events in the story. Okay, I can think of five right now. And what is the theme? What's the big idea of the story? Remember, he even said it at the end. He said something about two people comparing him and James and their languages, remember? So do that table. And then let's go down here to the second one. It's called The Mix Up by Frank Oster. Last month, Jenna announced to her mom that she planned on taking a long bike ride around the neighborhood. In that case, her mom responded, "Would you please deliver these packages for me? This one is for Great Aunt Sally, and this one is for your cousin Joey." Her mom explained that both relatives had birthdays coming up next week and she wanted to surprise them. "No problem," replied Jenna quickly. Since all of Jenna's relatives had settled in the same small town, no one lived too far away from the others. She tucked the packages under her arm, hustled out to the garage, and grabbed her new bike. When Jenna arrived at Great Aunt Sally's house, she suddenly realized that neither package had a name on it, but she was certain that Sally's was the one in the striped wrapping paper. Or was it? Wanting to be on her way, Jenna gave her great aunt the striped package and soon dropped off Joey's present too. The following week, Great Aunt Sally invited Jenna and her mom over for lunch. Sally answered the door wearing a bright new baseball jersey. "How did you know this is my new favorite team?" she asked, smiling at her guest. "Oh, just a guess," said Jenna's mom sarcastically. She glared at Jenna, who quickly realized her mistake. Cute little story, right? All right, so which details should be included in a summary of the mix up? So let's go down here and let's complete this chart. Who are the characters? Okay, the setting is Jenna's house and the neighborhood. A narrator outside the story is telling this story. Okay, list the important events. Talk about what Jenna was asked to do. Talk about what her mom did and asked her to do, and then talk about the presents. And then the theme. What's the big idea? What's the big thing about this? Remember, I'm going to give you a tip. It's about two of the presents. All right. So let's get those two charts completed, and you can submit those on notebook paper tomorrow with a photograph. I'm going to give you a copy of this as well, but I do not think you're going to be able to type on it. So I wouldn't even try. Okay. But if you need any help, let me know.